So why Bitcoin would make sense as part of our strategic reserves is that we recognize other long-term stores of value and put them in strategic reserve. We have a gold strategic reserve. We have an oil strategic reserve. I think it is fitting that Bitcoin, now that is really digital gold, be included among our reserve assets. So I'm proposing in the Bitcoin Act that we purchase roughly 200,000 Bitcoin a year just by converting money we already have into Bitcoin and hold them for 20 years.
Senator Cynthia Lummis has proposed the groundbreaking Bitcoin Act, aiming to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve within the U.S. Department of the Treasury. The bill outlines a bold plan to purchase up to 1 million Bitcoins over a 5-year period, capped at 200,000 Bitcoins annually. What's even more fascinating is that these holdings would need to be retained for at least 20 years, unless used to help pay down federal debt. In essence, this proposal treats Bitcoin as a foundational reserve asset, akin to digital gold. But first, let's hear what President Trump thinks about creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve.
Meantime, how about a crypto? Really, we do need, I think, your embracing of crypto, very different from the previous administration. Strategic petroleum reserve for crypto?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to do something great with crypto because we don't want China or anybody else, and not just China, but others are embracing it, and we want to be the head.
It's clear that President Trump is in favor of creating a Bitcoin strategic reserve, drawing parallels to the U.S. Petroleum Reserve. His vision of the U.S. leading the way in crypto rather than falling behind global competitors like China highlights the potential geopolitical importance of Bitcoin. But to truly understand the significance of this idea, let's step back and look at the foundation of our current financial system, the U.S. Treasury and its role in holding the nation's reserves. What does the Treasury hold today, and how does it relate to the broader financial system? The U.S. Treasury manages the government's finances, including reserves like gold and foreign exchange assets. Fort Knox, its most famous site, holds about 261 million troy ounces of gold, valued at $11 billion. Another major holding is special drawing rights, SDRs, from the International Monetary Fund, known as the IMF. SDRs aren't a currency but represent claims on currencies of IMF member countries. Their value is based on a mix of major global currencies, which is updated every 5 years.
SDRs play an important role in providing liquidity to the global economic system. SDRs were created by the IMF in 1969 to supplement the official reserves of its member countries.
The Treasury helps keep the financial system stable, funds public services, and holds reserves to support global trade. Adding Bitcoin could diversify these reserves and strengthen the U.S.'s position in the evolving digital economy. Let's hear what Senator Lummis has to say when asked if it's the right asset for the Treasury to hold.
It absolutely is the right asset. It is digital gold. It is a finite source. Only 21 million Bitcoin will ever be mined. And it has the elements of strength, and even though it's slightly volatile, it's always volatile in an upward leaning direction. And so the goal here of holding it for 20 years is in recognition that on the short term, there is short-term volatility. On the long term, there is long-term growth that far exceeds the ability of the US dollar to keep up. The US dollar is designed to debase. The Fed has a goal of 2% per year inflation, whereas Bitcoin's goal is to far exceed in value inflation and far exceed the value of the US dollar. And so far from inception, it has done exactly that. It's grown about 55% per year.
Senator Lummis makes a compelling case for Bitcoin as a long-term strategic asset for the Treasury. By likening it to digital gold, she highlights its potential for growth far outpacing the US dollar, which is intentionally designed to lose value over time through inflation. But while the vision is bold, the real question is, how likely is this proposal to actually pass?
Senator, I had a guest on yesterday saying that there are up to 290 pro-crypto lawmakers now heading to Congress or in Congress. But you've been there. How does it feel to sort of take a stand, which at one point was a very lonely stand, and now all of a sudden the whole world seems to have the same epiphany?
Well, I'm delighted to see people have taken the time to understand more about this asset. I'm delighted to see it become part of the U.S. economy, and I'm thrilled that President Trump identified it as something that we should have the beachhead for in the United States.
The interviewer noted that there are 290 pro-crypto supporters in Congress, which includes members of both the Senate and the House of Representatives, the two chambers that make up the legislative branch of the U.S. government. With this strong level of support, the momentum for crypto-friendly legislation like the Bitcoin Act is undeniable. To pass, the bill needs 218 votes in the House, a simple majority of its 435 members, and 51 votes in the Senate, a majority of the 100 senators. Once both chambers approve the bill, it moves to the president, who can either sign it into law or veto it. Whether the Bitcoin Act becomes reality or not, it signals a major shift in how policymakers are starting to view digital assets. Bitcoin's journey from speculative asset to potential reserve currency could redefine the global financial landscape. What do you think? Will this bill come to fruition? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're curious about what other countries are doing with their strategic reserves, like El Salvador's bold move to buy Bitcoin, check out our video on their groundbreaking strategy. Don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on crypto legislation, global adoption trends, and the future of digital assets.